A lot of guys want to sleep with attractive women, but not a lot of them do, and very few guys know exactly what they're doing wrong. Getting laid isn't about luck, it's about following a simple set of steps that most guys aren't even aware of. And if you understand and follow these 5 steps, then getting laid consistently with hot girls becomes a lot easier than you think. But first, before we jump into the steps, I need to explain a very important concept. You see, essentially all of the girls you will encounter will fall into one of these 3 categories. Knowing the difference will prevent you from wasting your time on dead ends and also help you understand why sometimes the same steps will work instantly and other times they may take a while. Category 1, high investment girls. These are girls who are just very down, they're very receptive. You invite her on a date, she's gonna say yes. You ask her phone number, she's gonna give it to you. There's not gonna be really any games. In fact, she might often hint at the date herself, if not outright push for it. If you guys want to see an example, check out the screenshots below of this hot MILF that I met up with a while back, and you can see that initially, it was kind of cold on Tinder, but once I moved things over to text, she became very receptive. She started sending me a bunch of sexy pics and was actually the one that was pushing for the date. And that's why I was able to meet her literally half an hour later. Now, girls in this category will typically only constitute about 10 to 15% of your matches. However, they will be responsible for like 50 to 70% of your lays. It's a very disproportionate amount. But this is only if you have decent text games so you can actually convert them and capitalize on the opportunity that you're going to be given. Category 2, medium compliance girls. So these girls are moderately receptive. They're probably not going to hint at the date themselves, but once you bring it up, they're most likely going to be pretty easily down. Now look, they might disappear on you once or twice throughout the conversation, so you have to be a bit persistent. They might even flake once or twice, but generally they're going to be pretty straightforward and not that difficult to make plans with. If you want to see a good example of this, take a look at a hot girl that one of our students was able to hook up with. You can see that she's not quite as invested or not quite as warm as the hot MILF that I hooked up with, right? But you can see she's still fairly invested and he's able to get laid that same night as well. Girls in this category might make up 30 to 40% of the women that you match with and constitute about 20 to 30% of your lays. However, these are probably going to be the hottest quality of girls, and they're also going to be the most likely to be girlfriend material. Every single girlfriend I've ever had who I met from online dating, including my current girlfriend, started off in this category. Category 3, low compliance girls. These are by far the most difficult ladies. They will typically respond with very short answers, if they even respond at all. With these girls, you have to be extremely persistent if you want to make it work. Now, it's important to note that a girl can start in the low compliance category and ultimately move up to like medium compliance if your text game is really good, or she might just stay in low compliance the whole time until after you guys have sex, if you're able to make it happen. I will say this, that if you guys want to see a good example, check out the screenshots below. This was a hot 18-year-old girl that was very much low compliance. You can see that she's giving me like basic one-word answers, right? And she's being very difficult to make plans with. But ultimately, I was able to close. Like, it's important to keep in mind there was another 20 to 30 screenshots after this, and you can see the full lay report on the website. Now, girls in this category will make up about 50% of your matches, but only constitute like 10% of your lays. And that's only if you have really good text game and are able to be super persistent. So in terms of the girls who are going to be here, you're going to see a lot of OnlyFans thoughts, you're going to see a lot of influencers and models, but also you'll see plenty of normal girls who have normal jobs for whatever reason thought that their best dating strategy is just to be as difficult as possible. So I recommend that unless the low interest girl you're talking to is just extremely attractive and you need to fuck her, that you skip them and focus on medium and high investment girls. Now, with that out of the way, let me show you the 5 steps to getting laid. And no, these are going to be generally in chronological order, but certain scenarios might cause you to either like swap 2 steps or skip one. You'll see what I mean as we go along. Step 1, build an investment. This is a relatively straightforward step. All this means that when you match with a girl on a dating app, don't just go straight for the close. That's going to have a lower success rate. Instead, you want to get her invested in the conversation a little bit first. And to show you guys exactly what this looks like, I attached some examples below, so check those out. But keep in mind, there's more than one way to do this. Also, when it comes to cold approach, don't just go up to the girl and be like, hey, do you want to go on a date with me? That's also going to have a pretty low success rate. Instead, you want to get her talking first. Build some investment in the conversation. Joke, flirt a little bit, and then you can ask her out. The reason this step is important is because a girl who's a lot more invested in the convo with you will be much more likely to say yes to the date, and most importantly, much more likely to actually show up. So this is something that you definitely want to do. Also, keep in mind that if you build a certain type of investment over text, like through sexting, the girl may show up and you might be fucking her within 5-10 minutes because all that investment has already been built up before she even arrives to the date. Step number 2, set yourself up for success. This one should be obvious, but unfortunately for most guys, it is not. This means just make it as easy as possible for yourself to close. That means no halfway dates, no dinner dates, no dates that's near her place that's far away from you, no dates where she only has an hour. In fact, no dates where you don't have a clear plan for how and where you're gonna pull her, right? If you don't have that plan, then you shouldn't be going on a date in the first place. And the easiest way to do this is just to invite her straight to your place for a bottle of wine. However, if she's not willing to come over, then you can meet her at a bar that's near your place. I prefer a place that's walking, but if you don't have anything like that, just pick one that's the shortest drive. Now, there are generally 2 types of dates you can set up. The first is what I call an explicit sex date. That means the girl is coming over for sex. She knows it and you know it. Now, of course, she can always change her mind if you fuck up or do something weird, but that will rarely happen to guys who have good game. And these are typically straight to the house dates, although not always. You can have a girl who's super DTF who's like, hey, let's meet at a bar nearby for like 15 minutes and then we'll go back to your place if you're not a catfish. That does happen. Here's a really good example of it from a girl that I hooked up with. You can see that she was coming over to my place for one thing and one thing only, which is why I was able to have sex with her within like 10-15 minutes of her walking in. The second type is what I call an implicit date. So this means you're being a little bit more vague. This can still be a straight to the house date, but she's not coming over for sex. She's coming over to split a bottle of wine on your romantic balcony. Deep down inside, she knows what's up, right? But it's not being vocalized. This can also be a public date, right? But the key thing here is that you still want to sexualize at least a little bit over text. You're just being a little bit more vague when you make plans, and the girl should deep down inside know what's up. If she doesn't, that just means you did not show enough intent over text. Step number 3, building comfort. A lot of people are very confused about what this entails. This means they need to share a bunch of private info, tell her a bunch of stories about yourself, but actually the best way to build comfort is with humor. If you can make a girl laugh, she's instantly going to be a lot more comfortable. Another huge aspect of this is just your vibe and your body language. If you're relaxed and chill and look like you're just having a good time, then eventually that vibe is going to rub off on her. Conversely, if you look like you're very kind of awkward and you're just nervous, that's also going to rub off on her because girls are very good at picking up on vibes. Also, important thing to add, the amount of comfort a girl will require will heavily depend on her. Some girls will feel comfortable after 2 minutes of walking into your place, and some will require over an hour. I would say most girls are somewhere between 20 minutes to 45 minutes that if you have good game, they'll start to feel very comfortable with you. Step number 4, building sexual tension. This is absolutely crucial. Sexual tension can mean the difference between a girl getting on her knees and enthusiastically blowing you and her saying, I just don't know if there's a connection here, right? It is very important. And there are multiple ways to do this. I've done demo videos where I show this. You can do this by slowing down your voice a little bit and speaking a little bit more seductively. You can do it through strong eye contact. You can do it through light touches, either on her arm or on her knee, a lot of stuff like that. Or just by simply getting closer to the girl. Proximity also builds a lot of sexual tension. Now, how much sexual tension you need to get laid will also vary girl by girl, but generally the more the better, because if you're going for the makeout and the girl's not turned on, then chances are you did not build enough sexual tension. It completely reduces the likelihood of the girl giving you last minute objections and LMR and saying there's no spark. It just literally greases the wheels for everything. Now, it's important to note that you can build some sexual tension over text, but most of it has to be built in real life. Step number 5, escalate physically. And this naturally crosses over with sexual tension. It's hard to say where one ends and one begins. I'd say it's probably right around the time where you start kissing the girl. And it's important to note that once you build the sexual tension, you have to physically escalate. If you don't do that, all the other steps will be completely useless. In terms of the how, going for the makeout is a good start. Then you start kissing down her neck, maybe kissing down her body, suck on her titties a little bit, and then basically just lead things towards sex. And it's important to note that if you don't do this, right, if you don't make a move, move, then basically the girl's gonna lose all respect for you because deep down inside, she's gonna know you pussied out. So it's always better to do something compared to doing nothing. Also, one huge tip for you guys, right? You're kind of going down the girl and you're kind of playing with her. If it's your first time, don't let her come until you're actually having sex with her, because if you do, a lot of the time she's just gonna lose interest and she's gonna be way less likely to have sex with you afterwards. So make her come during sex, not before it. All right, hope you guys found this video valuable. Also, heads up, we're doing a massive Black Friday sale, the biggest one I've actually ever done on our highly rated program. So if you've been learning from this channel for a while and finding value here, this is gonna be the full blueprint, everything organized step by step, a perfect system that's gonna show you how to consistently get laid or even get a girlfriend. And yes, this also comes with full access to my exclusive mastermind group, where I am every single night helping every single person with whatever dating challenges they're facing, whether that's not getting enough matches, or they need help with their photos, their bio, text game, or just about anything else that's holding them back. Click the link in the description to learn more. Peace.